another one of my videos. This one is for Eureka Math, Module 1, Lesson 1 problem set. It's about writing ratios in 3 different ways, so that's what our learning target is. You'll be successful today if you can identify the 2 things or the quantities that are being compared. Remember that order matters and write it correctly in 3 different ways. The book only talked about the 2 different ways, but we did add how you can write it as a fraction also. And so we're going to go ahead and look through this problem set here. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this first one here. At the 6th grade school dance, there are 132 boys, 98 girls, and 14 adults. So what are the ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls? So the number of boys to the number of girls. So boys to the number of girls. So remember, order matters, so we have to put the boys first, which is 132. Let's use the colon to write it this way. And to 89. Now, the next thing says, write the same ratio using another form. Now, if our other form, remember, we could use the word 2. So we would write 132 to 89. So that's another way to write it. And we also talked about how we could write it as a fraction, which is 132 over 89. So those are the 3 different ways that you could write that ratio of boys to girls. Okay, now this next one wants the number of boys to the number of adults. So our boys is 132, and the adults is 14. So that is our ratio of boys to adults. So boys to adults. So we can write that 132 over 14 would be another way to write it, or we could write it 132 to 14 would be another way to write it. So that's another way to write this problem. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next one they have here. Okay, so on this one, in the cafeteria, 100 milk cartons were put out for breakfast. At the end of breakfast, 27 remain. So what is the ratio of the number of milk cartons taken to the number of milk, the total number of milk cartons? So we want taken to total. Now the thing is, our total was what we started with, wasn't it? We started with 100 milk cartons, and they told us 27 remained, so they didn't tell us how many were taken. But we can figure that out by doing 100 minus what was left, which was 27. And if we work that out, we would end up with 30, not 30. We'd end up with 73. I know 73 would end up giving me, because 3 plus 27 would give me 30, and 70 plus 30 would give me 100. So we end up with 73 milk cartons that were taken. So our ratio of taken would be 73 to 100. Okay, so 73 to 100. So that is our ratio there, and you could write it in any one of those forms, using the word 2 or also as a fraction. So what is the ratio of milk cartons remain to the milk cartons taken? So we want remaining to cartons taken. So remaining is 27, and taken is 73. So that would be That's how many that's our ratio of remaining to taken. Again, you could also write it as 27 to 73, however you want to write it. You could do it those ways. Okay, or you could write it with the colon. So any of those ways you could write it. All right, so let's go on to the last one here for this one. Now this one, so choose a situation you could describe by the following ratios and write a sentence to describe the ratio containing these. So you're going to pick these ratios and you're going to write a sentence. So example is if you had 3 to 2, when making a pink paint, the art teacher uses a ratio of 3 to 2. So for every 3 cups of white paint, she uses the mixtures 2 cups of red paint. So you could look at the ratio of 1 to 2. And you could say for every 1 cup of flour needed in the recipe, it requires 2 cups of water or something like that. And the baker is making a recipe or something like that. So you can just make up any kind of a story or any kind of a ratio for these. The next one, so there is no right or wrong answer for these. You're just making up a ratio. So 29 to 30, you can just say 29 of the students in the 6th grade had dogs and 30 of the students had cats. So the ratio of students that had dogs to the ratio of students that had cats was 29 to 30. So anything you want to do with make up ratios with these is what you're going to do. So there is no right or wrong. Just make sure you make up some ratios with these, and good luck. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a good day. Bye.